Maybe the only face on the entire Mount Rushmore that's needed for me is, of course, none other. Yo, it's Brad from the 4 Jobbers, and I want to know who would be on your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. Not who are the 4 greatest of all time, but who are your 4 personal favorites. Not necessarily the most popular people, but who really had a connection with you. Who would be on your list? Let me know down in the comments. Maybe send a video reply. In the meantime, here's my personal favorites. Let's go. In that number 1 spot, maybe the only face on the entire Mount Rushmore that's needed for me is, of course, none other than Bret the Hitman Hart. This dude could have his own Rushmore, just a giant sculpture of Bret in the mountains of Alberta. That's all we need. He should be on one of the bills for Canada. I don't know, replace the Queen on the 20, put Bret on it, let's go. In that number 2 spot, I have to go with my boy, one of my favorites of all time. Not everyone connected with him like I did, but I was obsessed. It is Ken Shamrock, legitimate UFC fighter outside of the WWE, and when he came in, he brought all of that craziness. He was an animal. He was a killer. So I gotta go with Ken Shamrock on my list. In that number 3 spot, I'm gonna go with the wrestling machine, Kurt Angle. From the moment it kicked off, even though I was a kid, I was pretty young, and he was a heel, I normally wouldn't connect with him. For some reason, there was something about him. I loved it. Again, another wrestler that brought legitimacy into it. This guy was a gold medal champion in wrestling with a broken freaking neck. And not only that, he brought the comedy. He was one of the funniest wrestlers of all time. Not the longest run in WWE, but I have to have him on my list. Kurt Angle, absolutely goated on the Ginger Heat Mount Rushmore. And the last spot on my list is gonna go to none other than someone I made a video about at the 4 Jobbers on our Instagram, our YouTube, everywhere. Go check it out. The Lethal Weapon, Steve Blackman. Maybe there's a trend here. Guys that are legitimate, real-life badasses that bring that realism into the world of wrestling. Steve Blackman, such a badass. Also, low-key comedic genius. What'd you think of my list? Am I insane? Am I crazy? Does my list suck? Well, it doesn't matter. It's my list and it's my personal favorites. Let me know your list down in the comments. I would love to hear about them. I want to talk about it. I love to chat about this shit, so let me know.